Hello everyone, Tommy with Studio Sense here. You know there's an old saying that goes, when Mother Nature changes her gown, it's time for us to change our fragrance. I just made that up. But when you see or feel the change in weather, there's a particular kind of crispness in the air. The leaves are changing, they fall off the trees, those leaves get crushed underfoot, and there's a kind of an autumnal smell that results from that. Then you know it's time to switch up your fragrance rotation to something that's more appropriate for cooler weather, because those hot days of summer are gone. In fact, rotation is a great word because it's the rotation of the earth on its axis that causes the seasonal changes. At least where we are, we get those seasonal changes. A lot of people don't get them. Many of us are fortunate enough to see those changes, and we can change up our fragrance rotation accordingly. Today we're going to be focusing on 10 fragrances that are perfect fall fragrances or transitional fragrances as we transition from warm weather into cool weather. And I want to share with you guys a really cool surprise discovery that I made yesterday. And if you saw my video yesterday and looked in the notes, the description, you already know what that is, but many of you may not, and you're going to really benefit from it. At least I think and hope that you will. So I've got that and more coming up, so stay tuned. Welcome back everyone to 10 fragrances that are perfect for fall. And yes, we're in that fall weather right now, or at least many of us are. And so these fragrances are going to be perfect for that transition. We've got 10 to go over, so let's go ahead and check them out. The first fragrance that I want to discuss with you guys is one from Abercrombie & Fitch and the Fierce line of fragrances. Fierce is a very sage-forward kind of fragrance, and while this still has that sage, it has a lot more to recommend it for fall. It is Fierce Reserve. Guys, if you like boozy fragrances at all, you're going to love Fierce Reserve. Again, it focuses on that sage note, just like all of Fierce, but it has a particular penchant for amber, leather, and whiskey. There is a good bit of whiskey in this that makes it this boozy wonder. It's a lightly sweet, but not too sweet. Fierce Reserve does for people that are in their 20-somethings what Fierce did for the teen era. It's a little bit more mature without losing its nostalgic factor. You guys should check it out if you haven't already, Fierce Reserve. Our next fall favorite features tonka, vanilla, cedar, sandalwood, and a host of spices that make it perfect for fall weather. It's by Versace. It is Versace Eros Flame. This is basically what I like to term the fall version of the Eros DNA. And while it does retain that original kind of minty apple fresh, it goes a lot further with some unique notes like shanato. It's got a peppery burst of an opening, and guys, this one performs like a beast. Flame is a great fragrance. It's in high demand because of how well it performs, and many people love it. If you haven't discovered it yet, you will soon discover it is a perfect fall or transitional fragrance. This next fragrance is hard for me to wrap my head around how many compliments that I've gotten. It seems like every time I wear it, someone is saying something about how much they like it. It's a fragrance by Azzaro in the popular Wanted line. It is the most wanted. This is a gourmand wonder. Its primary focus is on cardamom, toffee, and the heart, and bourbon vanilla with a high quality vetiver mixed in there. What I think makes this so popular is it's kind of bookended by this roasted note that is extremely alluring and welcoming. It too is a very good performing fragrance, and that's what makes it perfect for fall, because just as you're having to layer a bit more to stay warm, you're having to wear a fragrance that's a bit more powerful to be able to push through those layers of clothing. The most wanted will do that with ease, and guys, women love the smell of this on you. If you haven't checked it out, you gotta. This is another fall favorite that's in high demand, so it is often hard to find, but all of these that I find, I will definitely link below to make it easy for you to find and to discover. And of course, you can't think of fall weather, or at least I can't think of fall weather without thinking of apples, or associating it with the smell of fresh apples, or kind of a wood crate with apples in it combination. And one of the best apple fragrances that have come out in recent years is by Valentino in the Born in Roma line. It is Born in Roma Coral Fantasy. What makes this a fantastic light gourmand fragrance to wear is a combination of red apple and tobacco. Red apple in the open, tobacco in the base, but when they finally meet each other and merge, It is a pristine smell that is extremely, not only is it masculine, it's extremely seductive, which makes this a great date night wear as well. So not only can you wear it as the leaves are changing, going into fall, but those nights, those date nights, whether you're dating someone new or someone you've been with for a very long time, they'll appreciate the allure of Born in Roma Coral Fantasy. And if it seems like I've been talking about gourmand fragrances, you are not wrong, because this is the perfect weather to feature gourmand fragrances, or what I like to term light gourmand. Light gourmand, which only has maybe like a few notes that would be considered edible or dessert type notes. Another perfect, powerfully performing fragrance. That's a lot of P's. Another great fragrance for fall that is many people's favorite is one from Emporio Armani in the Stronger With You line. It is Stronger With You Absolutely. This has to be in my top 5 favorite gourmand fragrances for the transition from warm weather to cool weather. Not only because of how well it performs, but because of how it uses that glazed chestnut along with 2 fingers of rum. I'm probably using that term incorrectly. A dram? I don't know. But the rum in this is so boozy and perfect. And when you combine that with the resinous elemi, it is intoxicating. One of the best boozy, sexy, seductive fragrances for men out there, which makes this a great date night fragrance. So you've got a lot of date night options in today's fragrances that we're talking about that you can add to your rotation, and this is definitely in the forefront. This next fall favorite, I think, has become underappreciated. When it was first released, people got into it and were like, yeah, this is great. Then it was kind of pushed aside due to other releases taking the limelight. But I think it's time to shine the light back onto it again. It is HARMONYCode Absolu. Now there is HARMONYCode Absolu Gold, which is very similar. The similarities are definitely there. The differences are nominal, but I think this one I seem to gravitate back to all the time. It is a fresh take on apple. What happens is the apple over time dissipates, and what you're left with is a host of unique spices that sets this apart from the others that are similar to it. Spices like orange blossom, nutmeg, carrot seed, and then you've got some sweetness from the tonka, a nice smooth textile suede in there that just makes this so another date night favorite. Not only are these fall favorites, but they're also great date night fragrances, and HARMONYCode Absolu is another great one. What I like about this too is you can enjoy the base along with the top notes in the very beginning. They all come together. The focal point of vanilla with that apple note is extremely pleasant to smell and to wear. Fantastically accessible fragrance for the fall transition, HARMONYCode Absolu. Well, you know it had to happen. I'm just happy that Paco Rabanne's Invictus chose the season of fall to grow up. And it did so in Invictus Victory. You know how when you're chewing bubblegum and after a few hours, or maybe an hour, the bubblegum kind of goes away? Well, that's kind of what's happened to this, except they've replaced it with something a lot more mature and a lot spicier, and definitely worth wearing. This one performs extremely well. I would say a mite better than the original Invictus. Its focal point is the frankincense, lavender, tonka bean, amber, and vanilla. Now, you've heard this before, and it's long been said on my channel that the base of a fragrance is really what you're left with after about an hour or so. Tonka bean, amber, and vanilla trifecta in the base of this is really where the strength of the fragrance comes from and what makes it perfect for fall weather. If you've never liked Invictus before, now is the time to give Invictus Victory a try, because it's the most un-Invictus-like so far, and I think you'll really enjoy it, especially for fall weather. Another fall favorite that is often hard to find due to the high demand, because it is such a great fragrance in terms of fall and really any time in terms of cool weather, is a fragrance by Ferragamo, Ferragamo's Spicy Leather. Now, Ferragamo's been around for a long time, and they've really kind of eked out a position in the retail space when it comes to a specific kind of leather, and they're well known for all their leather accoutrements and items. But they've really done themselves a solid with the leather fragrances that they've come out with lately, and Spicy Leather is a great example of that. Notes like saffron, nutmeg, clary sage, patchouli, and then a very woody cedar in the background are just pushing that primary note of leather forward. And guys, this is a unique leather fragrance. It's a perfect autumnal kind of fragrance and will pull you compliments. Again, this one's hard to find. If I've discovered it, I've definitely left some links below to make it easy for you guys, but give it a try if you haven't yet. Ferragamo's Spicy Leather. Just like most of these fall favorites that women love the smell of, this is yet another date night awesome fragrance. perfect for transitional weather. It is from Hugo Boss. It is the scent Absolute. The scent Absolute, the scent Private Accord were pretty much came in tandem, and people have often kind of compared one over the other. They both have great features. Private Accord's a bit harder to find. This one is a bit easier to find, but that's not why it's in this list. It's because of how it uses that Maninka fruit and Mondia root. Now, Maninka fruit is this kind of dusty, it smells a little bit like a combination of chocolate and strawberries, which has often been an aphrodisiac, but also Mondia root. I hear Mondia root actually tastes like licorice, but it smells like a powerful vanilla. Add vanilla on top of a note that smells like a camphorous type of vanilla, and you have the scent Absolute, a fantastic, seductive, alluring date night wonder. This is another one of those attention grabbers, compliment getters. It's just a fantastic fall favorite that belongs in everyone's rotation. Speaking of Hugo Boss, this next fall favorite is one that came out in 2016 and unfortunately has since been discontinued. And you probably already know what I'm talking about. It is the Boss Bottled Intense. I think Jeremy Fragrance, this was his favorite when it first came out. It was really the favorite of many people. I'll show you a couple thumbnails. This guy here, Timmy, he looks like he's addicted to it. And this guy here is wondering what life is gonna be like without it after it's discontinued. The reason that I'm talking about it today, it takes that Apple Accord from number 6 and it imbues a seductive kind of magnetic quality, which makes this a great date night fragrance as well. But the way this performs, finally one of those fragrances that's true to its word, to its name. It is very intense. It lasts a good long time, and it makes a perfect fall or transitional fragrance. But the reason it's in this list too is because I made a discovery yesterday. And again, those of you that saw my video and you looked in the description and clicked on the links already know what I'm talking about. If you go try finding this fragrance, you're gonna be SOL. You're gonna be out of luck. You can find it on eBay for upwards of $350, maybe, because people are taking advantage of the fact that you can't really find this, it's discontinued. But actually I discovered Joma Shop has a limited supply of them in the form of a gift set. Okay, so you get a 100 ml bottle, and on either side you get, I think, something like shower gel and aftershave balm, but who cares? You're purchasing it for the 100 ml bottle of Boss Bottled Intense. That is very hard to find, impossible to find. And so guys, I wanted to share that with you so that you could get yourself a bottle. For many of you that have always wanted to purchase this and haven't been able to, now is an opportunity. It's only $64.99, 65 bucks, which is definitely well under 300, right? So it's worth the price. But for those of you that want a signature scent for fall, it's really hard to do better than Boss Bottled Intense. So if you can, grab yourself a bottle. There you go. You're welcome. Well guys, that's it for my 10 fall favorites. If you've had any experience with any of these, share what your favorites are in the comments below so that everyone knows. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate your time. And as always, thank you so much for your continued support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video review.